It turns out that doing almost anything on your own is kind of boring. And so in FPV and a lot of things in life, we intentionally seek out community. But there are a few of us, and I'm not necessarily sure I'm a great example, that not just seek out community, but we build the community that others seek out. Lexie Janson, aka Maionhigh, is one of those people. And as a matter of fact, she has built such an amazing community that I feel it is a fantastic model for anyone else to follow. Her community is supportive. They're good. They're fun. They reach out to each other and they care for each other. It is honestly one of the best communities I've ever been a part of or ever seen. And as a result, I decided to have Lexi come on the show. It was a blast. I love talking to Lexi. She's fun, right? And what you see is what you get. When the camera's off, when the camera's on, she is the same person. And I think that in large part, that's why her community is so fantastic. So I hope you enjoy it. And catch you guys on the flip side. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Michael Rollins Show. And today, if you can see the screen, you will know that we have Lexie Janson, aka Maionhigh. How are you doing, Lexi?
Hi, I'm doing great. Actually, you got me straight in the middle of moving. So sorry, guys, for lack of background. But this is what it is now.
You're just not trying hard enough, Lexi.
I know.
You're not trying hard. You have plenty of time between moving, all of the live streams that you do, the community support that you do. What else do you do? Because you should have at least videos. There we go. Videos, having to film and record them, or film and edit them, I'm sure. So it's morning for me and afternoon for you. So I'm going to have a sip of my coffee here.
Enjoy that. I'm already on the water, so
there you go. So if for any of y'all that missed the pre-show, that's where Lexi or the patient. You're not a patient. I'm tired. We're the patient, Lexi. Where the guest and I typically talk about things totally non-related to FPV. We were talking about the American phenomena of the murder kill show, like Forensic Files, and my favorite right now is Lieutenant Joe Kenda. I could listen to that guy talk all day long because he just has this very controlled, deep voice. But he also has a bunch of catchphrases like my, where it's like you hear it once, it's in your head. But as I was explaining this to Lexi was just sitting there with a horrified look on her face. Because I said, I've been watching these murder kill shows. And she was like,
because why?
I think I gotta go.
No, it's fine. Whatever you want to talk with me about. I mean, dude, I told you I'm listening to podcasts such as Lore or Noble Blood and stuff like this. I like listening about such stuff, especially what people do to other people and why.
Well, and that is why once I started explaining it, Lexi was like, "Oh, maybe I should check these out."
Yeah, that was like, oh yeah, that's because you start with murder, and I'm like,
murder, yeah, murder kill.
Okay.
Yeah, no, como se dice en español, murder kill. Which that's a fun one I use with my kids all the time, but it's probably really weird. So, anyways, moving on from that tangent, Lexi, thank you for coming on. It is always a huge pleasure to have you. All right, Lexi, before we get into today's topic, which is community, I want to show you something that Dan Piper Parkinson, aka Renegade FPV, and one of the two hosts of Optimized Drone sent me. And I got it yesterday. And as soon as I saw it and I knew you were going to be on today, I was like, oh man, Lexi's got to get one of these. You ready?
Tell me. Yes. It's purple. It's for me.
I told Dan, I was like,
so me.
Yeah, the other host is Matt Gankman and Dan Piper Parkinson. Both of them are fantastic guys. But I told Dan, I was like, this is perfect for my guest tomorrow. He's like, oh, who are you having on? I was like, someone that really likes purple. And he goes, Lexi? It's like, yeah, that's
I'm
it,
known
man.
From that. Damn.
You are. Look. If I see purple on anything, I immediately assume it is in some way, shape, or form affiliated with you. Yes. See.
Purple.
Maybe I can take over black. What do you think?
Yeah, you should totally take
Black
over
and orange. Black, that's it. I'll do black and orange. I've been thinking about how to like brand myself. So maybe that's a good idea.
That's a good idea. I'm doing the black and purple, so it works for me. Although on the last live stream I had like a green shirt.
Yeah.
Most
And everybody was like,
commenting
whoa.
about this. Yeah. What is this?
You changed your uniform.
Yeah, I was like, there is a black shirt underneath.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So that's actually a great segue into the topic, because your watchers / listeners / community are so used to you being in a black shirt that they commented on the color of shirt that you were wearing in a video.
Yes.
Like, how does, so, all right. I have my own thoughts, but like, how does that feel for you when your community knows you well enough that they can pick out the things that are not normal, right? Not usual.
It kind of feels weird because usually such jokes are made by my brother or something like that.
Yes.
So he's the first person who's like, why don't you wear black? What happened to you? Are you sick? No, I'm not. So the thing is that for some time now, I've been getting like people on Instagram sending me pictures of stuff that, hey, you would like this, or hey, that made me think of you. And every single time I'm like, yes.
Yes, I like it. So you're at the point where your community, you have been consistent enough being you with your community that they're not sending you recommendations on things you should shop for.
Yeah, but at the same time, it kind of feels like I'm pressured now, because what if I switch a shirt? So lately I've been I've been out of my shirts because they started getting holes and stuff, and I got myself 10 of this t-shirt.
Yeah.
In particular, and there's no other t-shirt right now in my drawer.
Well, okay, so is that because of the community, or is that because of just you're choosing to be a little bit more minimalist?
I like being minimalist, but also, you know, it feels kind of easy. I have just 10 of the same shirt. I don't have to think about it in the morning. It's like,
yeah. And honestly, if it works, why fix it?
It works. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you and I, we both, I mean, everybody's been working from home, but you and I have both worked from home for a long time. And there's definitely an aspect of, you know, sometimes you just wake up and it's like, why should I put an enormous amount of thought into what I'm going to wear? Because literally no one is going to see me besides my family.
And no one cares. Like,
and
for
no
the
one
longest
cares.
time, I actually thought that no one notices that I have just one t-shirt on my videos. But when I switched it, I got so many comments about switching my t-shirts. I was like, okay, they noticed. Not good.
So you know what freaks me out? Whenever I see Bardwell with a beard. I'm so used to seeing his beautiful round face without a beard. And when he wears a beard, I'm like, well, number one, it's a little wrong. Number two, he's kind of a badass with a beard. Like, legit. I don't know. Have you ever seen that picture of him when he was like really young? He had like gobs of hair. It was all the way down his back. He's like, you know, and I'm a round man myself. So I get what happens when you get into your 30s and 40s, right? But he's like trim and he's like glancing. Anyways, I saw it one time and it left such an impact on me. And the thing is that he looked bad ass. Like you could just sit there and be like, yeah, if that dude glared at me in the middle of a concert, I'd back away. Because he looks like he should be at a concert. Like, and it's so not the take that I have on Bardwell. So speaking of, you know, your community, not, you know, having your brand in mind. So, all right. So you have been building your community for 4 or 5 years, longer than that.
I think it was like 5 years. I started doing YouTube for FPV like 5 years ago. Yeah, so it started somewhere there.
And I ended up stumbling on your channel in, it was late 2016, maybe 2017-ish. Yeah, well, but you were doing the vlog style, right?
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. And it was because there was because it wasn't truly about, I mean, it was about FPV because a lot of it was like your FPV travels. But at the same time, it was like, this is what Lexi is like while she's traveling for FPV.
Yeah.
And the food, lots and lots of food.
I love my food, dude.
I do too.
I was the most excited about the bigger fridge.
Yes, I got you.
We have now a bigger kitchen, and there's like a bigger freezer, so I can do more food and then freeze it for later.
Is it an American style fridge and freezer, or is it still European?
It's still European, unfortunately, but okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get that.
Well, so for those of you Americans that have never been to Europe, typically their freezers are like tiny. We would consider them a microwave in an American kitchen, right? Like they're small.
They're so small.
And for the Europeans that have not been to the US, I could fit like 2 of me in my refrigerator, and I am not a small guy. So it makes it convenient if you're gonna hide the body, because now you're under investigation as part of a future murder kill show. That's probably, I should take that out. Yeah. YouTube algorithm's gonna be like, whoa, we're not gonna monetize this. Okay, so here's some of the things that I remember you doing for your community, and I would love for you to kind of walk us through your progression of thought here. You know, there were your vlogs, right, where you kind of let people get to know you. There were, I remember you sent out gobs of stickers.
Oh yeah,
gobs of stickers.
But that was having plus and minus sides.
Well, okay. Well, so you did the stickers, and then you definitely started doing like meetups, right?
Yes.
And then, so why don't you walk me through that, or any like the stickers, the meetups, anything else that you may have done that I might not have picked up on? And we'll get to recent times in just a minute.
Okay, so the vlogs started because of Wild Willy FPV, actually. So he said Lexie logs should totally be a thing.
Yes.
So awesome. Back then I was just doing Xiaomi Yi. That was my only camera. I was like little action camera. It sucked. It was so bad.
I had one too. They weren't great.
They weren't great, but it was something. So I started doing little vlogs with this, and actually at this point, one of my followers said that, hey, it's Amazon Prime Day, and I saw that I can buy you a GoPro session. Would you like it?
Wow.
And I was really like, why would you do it?
Right. Yeah.
Like that's the first thing that happens. Like, why would you do it? And he said, you have your Xiaomi for your drones, but you can get better quality of your videos. And I love watching your videos. They always make me happy. And they make my day. And I was so excited about it. And he did actually send me this camera.
Wow.
So.
And it didn't get weird?
It didn't get weird.
Do you feel comfortable saying who it was, or you don't want to, or don't worry about it if you want to?
I think I shouldn't, because,
that's fine.
Data.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
We're still friends.
Good.
So this is when
we're still friends.
We're still friends. It's all good. Yeah. We talk a lot. So that's when it started. And the thing is, I was not a good pilot. Like, I sucked so bad. Like, I cannot really, like, yes, going for races was amazing. That was like my thing. But I sucked so bad. And I was super aware of it. So whenever the event finishes, you get a lot of DVRs from those super pro pilots. And they're like super fast, super clean, everything. And I was just there like... Yeah, exactly.
That would be me, by the way. I'd be like, I would just drive Miss Daisy.
At one point, I just thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I just showed how the drone racing looks like, but from the other perspective? Yes, you can see me flying. I was flying. It wasn't the best, but hey, we did this, and this, because no one was doing it. And that's how it started. That's where it went into my mind. And I still love doing it. I really miss vlogs, but hey, COVID.
Yeah. And, for folks that don't realize, like, vlogging is tough. Like, it's tough. I don't like it. I've tried it quite a bit, and I realized that I do not like trying to put a story together after I've filmed gobs of footage.
I like storytelling in general.
Okay.
But sometimes it's hard when you like walk with a camera from through somewhere. And I actually I talked with Nurk about it because he said that he always goes away to talk, and I said, "Oh, I'm doing it too." Is it because some people are like basically for a split second in your shot, and then they come to you like, "I don't want to be in your video," and then you have to redo all of it.
Yeah.
Or people make really stupid faces or show a finger and stuff like this, and you're like, I cannot show it, and it's after the fact. So then you kind of either do an over voice or just cut it through. So we started both to kind of go away. So this is kind of a harder part of it. But for most of it, I think I really like it. Kind of relaxes me on events. That I can just do something else, do some B-roll, do some, storytelling, tell what's going on. And it feels kind of like I have this connection with people who are watching me.
Yeah.
So it feels like I'm telling the story to my friends. And also I feel like I'm telling the story to my family, because every time I'm calling my mom, hey, what have you been up to? Oh, yeah, I've been in China. Oh, yeah, I saw the vlog. Oh.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So then it's like, okay, Mom, so how are you doing? Oh,
Right.
yes, I'm old. Oh, yeah, good talk.
Good talk, yeah.
Yeah, they're always like, I know, I saw it on Instagram. I know, I saw it on YouTube. And I'm like, why are we having this conversation then?
Yeah, for sure. Just calling back to uniform, by the way, Nurk, his pants. Have somebody posted in TBS group the other day, identify this pilot, and it was literally a crop of Nurk's pants. And everybody was like, "Oh, that's Nurk." I was like, speaking of a man with sexy calves, also, I will say, very sexy calves. So anyways, okay, so after you did the vlog, so I feel like the vlogs are what kind of drew me into who you are, because you are a very delightful person. And it is very fun to like ride along with somebody that seems to be happy all the time. And I'm sure you're not. But yeah, it was like there was, between you and Casey Neistat at the time, I think I watched your vlogs and his vlogs the most. So, to kind of give you an idea of the impact that made. So, and then at some point you started sending stickers.
Yes. I wanted to send my stickers everywhere. And that was the point when some people started sending like one sticker for $10 to people.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And I was like, this is nonsense. I'm just going to send stickers to everyone who wants them. I had a steady job. I could afford it.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's a big factor. To be perfectly
honest, I didn't see it coming. Yeah. So I got around 1,200 emails. So I actually had to like separate it to 3 months of sending. And the good part of this is sometimes I go to like Las Vegas and there's people having my stickers. And I'm like, that's crazy. Where did you get it? Yeah. Or anywhere in the world, there's people with my stickers, which is cool. The minus part of it was that some people actually gave me wrong address. So I had 1,200 emails. So I was just copy pasting them. So if you did it wrong, it's on you. Yeah. And some people sent me a wrong address. I got like 50 or 80 letters back. And I messaged every single person. I found them to tell them, hey, you gave me a wrong address. Would it be possible for you to just cover the shipping? And then I can send it again if you cover the address. And some people were like, oh, God, sorry. And some other people were like, how dare you ask me for money? And I was like, are you kidding me? How much did you spend in shipping that? I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, it was that bad? I mean, if you had 1,200 and you were shipping
€1.10 for one letter outside of Germany.
Whoa. Yeah. So you spent well over $1,200 on that. 1,200 euros. There
were a lot of people from Germany, though.
Well, I'm sure.
So people will really like, how dare you ask me for money? And I'm like, dude, I just sent so many letters. How can you just do it? And I was like, dude, I'm sorry, but I already spent money to send it to you and it came back and it's not my fault. You
Right.
know, and they were screenshotting it, tagging me on Instagram and saying that I'm a mean person. I was like, are you kidding me now? I was like, oh my God. So this is when I stopped doing that.
So when you did that, were you at all in the mindset of, I'm going to create a community now? This is going to be one of the tools that I use to do it.
I just wanted to give people stickers, really. Because like when I started FPV, my goal number one was I will have my own sticker one day. The end. That was it. Not my own motors, not my own props, no, sticker.
That is a fantastic idea.
Yeah, so I wanted to just share them because I was so happy to have them. And actually, my first logo was made by also one of the fans. So it was really just something super special for me. And I just wanted to share them. I saw a lot of people really selling them for $10. And I was like, I wouldn't afford it. I want to just send them to everyone because I can.
Yeah.
And yeah, it kind of backlashed on me a little.
So at what point did you start to actively think I should build this into a community? Was it just a natural progression? Was there ever a moment where you were like, oh, I should do this?
Actually, there was not. I was just myself. And at one point, I just thought, hey, let's make... I was always answering every single comment and message, and I have a photographic memory. So sometimes when people tell me like, hey, I'm this guy who told you about this and this, I'm like, oh yeah. And I remember what we talked about sometimes. Sometimes, not always. So people actually felt like we have a connection. And it felt a little bit different because it's not like you are talking with a YouTuber who's like really doesn't know who you are, just answers you if answers you at all. And at one point, my Patreon said, hey, maybe let's start a Discord and just start talking there. And at this point, I was kind of afraid to, share my personal time and my personal data with people on the internet. It's really scary. I have to say that.
You think?
Yeah.
What if people asked you to take a picture of the front of your house?
No. I have to tell you a story, but that's
I'm
for later.
sorry.
That's for later. I need to tell you this. So first, let's go back. So we started Discord, and at first it was like 20 people because I had just 20 Patreons. It was really small. And those guys are just amazing. We just started talking. We were talking every single day. And slowly, there were more Patreons and more stuff like this. And that created a really nice community. And it seems like some people joined because they thought that, since I'm answering everything, then maybe the community on Discord is also cool. And recently, really, a couple of my patrons said that the community on Discord is so amazing.
It really is.
And it's just a lot of supportive guys. And now that I was moving, I was not really active for a week. And I thought that Discord will just die out. It didn't. And we have Food Topics channel too, by the way.
So what really got me thinking about this whole topic was, a couple weeks ago, y'all brought me into the Discord so that we could do the Velocidrone combat afternoon.
Yeah, and I failed in this. And
but it was so much fun. Which, by the way,
you should join next week then.
I will.
Yes.
We have Quan Gon, who creates Z-Tag, has sent. Did you get it? Oh my God, it's so fun! We flew
in a lockdown though, so I don't know how to fly it yet.
God, stupid lockdown! I got my shot yesterday. I'm ready.
How was it?
It wasn't bad. My shoulder's sore. That's about it. So I'm still waiting for my latent mutant powers to manifest. Okay. So hopefully I'd like to have like telekinesis or the ability to remember what I did last week. Those are the two superpowers I'm hoping for. So I got into your Discord and I just started looking through and I was like, this is a great group of people. Like, this is a fantastic, and you could tell that not only, like, I'm sure that initially it was like, oh, I want to support Lexi, I'll be there. But then they were supporting each other. And all this, like, you're trading ideas, and like you've got like a Discord channel for coupon codes. And it's like, all of a sudden there's this whole nexus of people that are revolving around what initially started as, you know, your Patreon. Which, by the way, I would like to plug here that if you would like to be part of Lexie's Discord, which you should be, you can join her Patreon and get a link to it immediately.
Yes.
So I was just really impressed. And also it was one of those moments where, you know, sometimes when you're in the hot seat like we are, it's hard to remember that most of these folks are good people. Right? Because you and I, we definitely see the negativity far more than we see the positivity. And being in your Discord I was like, oh, so it kind of reminded me, you know, that there is a very positive side to this. It's not like I was down on it or anything, but
well, actually, my Discord is my happy place. I have to tell you that. Whenever I come with problems, even with problems such as should I eat pizza?
I noticed that. Guys, what should I have for dinner?
But it happens. Like sometimes everyone's like, hey, what should I have for dinner? Or hey, I did a baguette and stuff like this. So there's like always something to talk about, but also about the negativity. I'm sometimes sending comments or messages that I'm getting on private on my socials, and the guys are like, what the hell?
Yeah. That is, you know, I have been able to kind of get a peek into that a little bit through like you and Kat and a few other folks. And it is like, so let me just I'm going to stop everybody here. If you are a guy in FPV, and we're going to talk about this as part of the next topic. But if you are a guy, you'll understand. If you're a guy in FPV, you really do have a different stance in the community. And like legit, nobody sends me D pics, right? Granted, if they did, I'd probably make some snide remark. But you know, a lot of the women really get that. Like, it's crazy. I know you've told me, you haven't shown me anything, thank God, but you've told me a little bit about it.
I will not be showing it.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I guarantee that there are folks watching this interview when it airs, and they're going to be thinking, you know, the only reason Lexi was able to build a community in the first place is because she's cute.
She's a girl.
Because she's a girl, because she's cute. And, you know, what do you, like, first off, like, I have my own thoughts on that, but what do you say to that?
Dude, I actually, yesterday I released a video on how to dive gate, in which I literally explained step by step how to do stuff. And a lot of people are like, whoa, damn, you know how to fly. And right? I'm like, someone even commented, not that bad for a girl. And I'm like, well, not that bad of a comment for a total sexist. Like, right. Come on. But I also get comments like, how can you teach people if you don't know how to fly yourself? And I'm like, dude. Yeah. So also there's comments like, am I the only one who clicked just because she's cute? I'm like, come on. So I think it's harder for a girl, kind of, to just prove that you know your shit. Because mostly people are like, oh, you're pretty, I'll click it. It's like, oh.
So, you know, what's interesting is that being in that Discord, like if you're in it, you begin to realize very quickly that none of those people are there and none of those people are participating because they want inappropriate time with you. Like, and you know, having been in there for 5 minutes, I could totally see what the reaction would be if somebody did that.
Oh, right? We also have mods now, just in case.
Ooh. I mean, but like these people, like these folks would be aggressive. Let's just say it that way. Like, yes. I feel like if somebody came after you in a very openly sexist way in your own community, but I guess
they go after people in comments too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they do. But the thing is that like people are not out there defending you against the sexist comments because they're sexist.
I don't know.
I just don't
like to believe that they do.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is that like going back to your vlogs and going back to like when I first started watching your vlogs, it's it is very apparent very quickly that you're genuine, right? And it is the genuineness that you have and the fact that you care that I really think has let you build this community, right? And anybody, it's so, and this is not to, I don't want to minimize your skills here, okay? But so just hear me out.
They're getting better.
Well, most of us, and you're a better pilot than I am. Like, I can't race. I've never done it. I tried to do some split S's over like small gates the other day and ended up breaking a motor on like the second try. But you have a good level of skill, but so do a lot of people, right? And they don't have communities, right? They don't have a group of people that rally around them and support them all the time. I'm sure some of them do, right? So you obviously bring something else entirely to the table. And the fact that your community is proof of that. Like, yes, they respect your skills, but then they also respect you.
I think it might be because I care. And as you said, like when you said it, I'm like, yeah, that may be it. Because a lot of my Patreons came from the fact that they sent me an email with their issue and I answered like really detailed sometimes, or from Instagram or answering comments and stuff like this. So I think that it might be that I care and this is important for people. And I also really do care. Like if someone sends me an email and I don't know the answer for it, I will go to my Discord and ask, guys, I don't know, can you help me? Because I need to help this person. I have to.
And what's interesting is that I have found a similar dynamic here in these interviews. Being able to sit down with someone and talk to them and listen. And sometimes all it takes is listening, right? A lot of the folks that I interview, we come away with kind of a stronger relationship. Now, it may not be a friendship, but oftentimes it is. And I think a lot of it has to do with just the ability to listen and care enough to continue to listen or to respond.
That's true.
How many emails a day or requests a day do you have for issues, right? What do I do with this, Lexi?
Emails, there's like 5 usually.
Okay.
There's much more on Instagram and stuff like this. But sometimes when the issue is like, I need pictures or stuff, it's easier to just do email. And I'm like, hey, ping me an email here. It's going to be easier, quicker, better.
I'm thinking about Bardwell as well, because Bardwell cares a lot.
Yes, he also cares a lot.
Bardwell cares, I think, more than just about anybody in the FPV community. Like this mic and your mic were both sent to us by Bardwell.
No, I bought mine.
Oh, did you buy your own? Oh, mine was sent to me by Bardwell. Woo! No, but after my one and only interview with him, he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, what's your email address or what's your address?" And I was like, "Are you going to come visit me?" And then, sure enough, like a few days later, this very nice Rode mic shows up in an Amazon box, and I was just like, "Man, like it's an expensive mic.
Yeah, it is.
It's not cheap." Like you don't do that if you don't care. And you can also look at Bardwell's community. And he maybe has the biggest community in FPV, I think. Yeah. Like, I mean, Homeboy is out there with boatloads of people. So if someone wanted to go about building a community, what tips and tricks would you tell them?
Care and really try to create a friendship with your viewers, because this is how it creates a community. Don't talk to your viewers as hello everyone, but even say like a name or hi to the camera when you are just doing a normal video, because then it feels more personal when you say just hi or not hello everyone, because then it's like to the group. But when you say just hi and look straight in the camera, it looks like the person is talking especially to you. So being really like you care, answer the comments, answer the emails, answer the PMs on Instagram and stuff like this, and really just write something more meaningful rather than things and stuff like this. It also creates this type of a connection between people. I think this is important.
how would like, I'm sure there's people out there right now there, and they would, and this is something Nurk and I have talked about a lot is, community is the thing that does it for him. He's another guy that cares a lot. Right. And, if somebody is out there and they have decided that they do care and they want to start something important, like what would be like the first practical step?
Go to Facebook groups. If someone has a question, answer it. The more you answer, the more you are active, the more people connect you with a thing. Like people connect Lexie Janson, they see my little profile picture. And if I'm answering a lot of things, they kind of remember in their head. So when you later share a video or something like this, then they connect your head that, hey, this person helped me. Maybe this person has a really cool video. So this is basically how it works. So you need to kind of stick in someone's mind, I would say. That's like a first step.
And then once you what could you do in parallel with that? Like, do you have to do YouTube?
Don't have to do YouTube. Okay. We can do Instagram only or something like this. I think YouTube is just really responsive because there's like moving pictures. It's not just a still picture of you, but there's like you as a person. The same goes with the live streams. Like when I started live streams again, I felt like better connection with people because they really could ask me a question live. And it felt really nice.
The example, speaking of not using YouTube, because by the way, YouTube is not a small endeavor. Like there's a crazy amount of time that has to go into each video. Even something like this, where the editing is rather minimal, there's still 5-6 hours per video, right? And if you're editing a vlog or something like that, and that just may not be for everybody, there is a person on Instagram who's a great example of using Instagram to not only showcase their work, but also help others. And that's it's sub 250G FPV. And I'm assuming it's a guy, and I realized I don't know for certain that it is. But he is doing an incredible amount of innovating in the sub 250 gram space. And as I've watched his stuff, he and I have started talking, and it has been like the conversations have been great. I'm like, what do you think about this? And he'll come back and say, well, I understand what you're thinking, but maybe you should try it this way. And he's very respectful of all the ideas that I have, but at the same time, he has much better ideas than I do. Right. So it's like, so he's a perfect example. I don't even know his name. I asked him to come on the show, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not really big on talking in front of a camera or other people." And he actually, all of his videos, he's not in them. He doesn't post photos of himself or whatever, but he's flying all the time. And then he's got like build pictures on top of it. So like you might see the flight, and then the next picture, you can do the stacks, right? And the next picture over is, this is what the drone looks like. And then it's like, this is the part. And then, he just kind of iterates through, and it's not like he's getting affiliates off this. Right. So it is very much possible to be helpful on Instagram as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And he has just 11,000 followers. So guys,
go hook homeboy up, or homegirl, as the case may be. What about I know that you and Onigiri have done like a podcast and whatnot together.
Yes.
How important is it for you as the creator of the community to connect with other people that have, they may be part of your community, but then you also interact as creative equals, if you will?
Actually, Onigiri is on my Discord too.
I know she. Well, that's what I was saying. I did know she is. I was just thinking, like we have our very small Discord of creators in FPV. I should add her, and I have found it to be just a great place to go and just kind of say, okay, this is my frustration today, right? Like, how important for you is it to be able to go and chat with other creators as like a one-on-one and have it help you support your community?
I think it's really important because one, we can support each other. So this is like this collaboration here. I will share this interview all over the place, and I hope that you will get some more subscribers.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
It's really important for me. But also it's really important to have people who understand you with when you have problems, because sometimes you're like, I'm going to Heiko and I'm like, I hate doing YouTube today because I got such mean comments, and I just screenshotted them and added them to my folder of hate.
Yes.
You have this folder too, huh?
I don't, but you know what?
I do. It's awesome.
I have heard from Ali Abdal. Have you ever heard of him? He's like a productivity guy.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit crazy, honestly. He's like a doctor. He makes hundreds of thousands a year on YouTube, and like the guy's single, and he's super nerdy, and apparently he like gets proposed to almost daily over like internet and email. Like apparently it's a real question. Like they have to have an FAQ for him about, is he married? Is he engaged? Is he looking?
I'm getting the same messages.
Are you?
Are you married? Yes. Are you married?
Oh, wow.
Are you married? I actually talked with my brother because I told him, like,
Yeah.
usually guys ask me, am I married? And then don't ask me, like, do you have a boyfriend or something like this? And my brother was like, well, if you're married, then it's game over. But if you just have a fiance or boyfriend, you can still do stuff about it. And I'm like, dude.
Actually, that is, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm old enough now that I see all the ways that's not true. However,
Exactly. But still, it's a thing. What were we talking about?
the
what
comment,
is
the folder of hate. So
Yeah, folder
he
of hate
has
stuff.
the exact opposite. It's a folder of goodness.
Oh, I have this too.
Okay. I was going to say, you should definitely start one of those as opposed to focusing on the dark side, kind
No,
of
I
be
actually print them and I fold them and put them into a little jar. So if I have a worse day, I just put stuff out of the jar and I read messages, comments, and stuff like this.
That's
I also
awesome.
have the fan mail box. It's also
That's
awesome
killer.
place.
And how important is that to you as a creator?
That's really important. So my Discord is a happy place. My jar of happiness is a happy place. But it's really important, especially when you feel like stuff is not working or your video is not getting much views. Maybe people don't like you anymore. Maybe you said something, or you get really nasty comments and you're like, yeah. So it's important.
Yeah, or say for instance you hit your goal of 7,000 and then you slow to a crawl in terms of subscriber numbers. Yeah,
It's
I
a
know the
plateau.
feeling.
It happens a
Yeah,
lot.
I'm
Like
sure.
for the last 2 weeks, I have been stuck on 18,800. And it was just going one up, one down, one up, one down. And it was plateau of 2 weeks. And I was like, why? It sometimes happens. It's totally okay. Once you are out of the plateau, it's all good. So don't worry.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna hit the 10,000 soon.
yeah, I hope that would be nice. I would appreciate that. Is that, wait, when do you get the first play button?
100,000.
100, that, wow, that's a lot.
But if
'Cause
you
it's-
get 10,000, I'm gonna send you the play button of Etsy for 10,000. What say you? You can buy those, really.
All right, I'm down. Maybe I should
Okay.
just buy one up here. Get
No,
like
I'll
this
buy
super
one to you.
diamond.
I'll send it to you.
Well, thank
I'll
you,
send
ma'am.
Just
Okay.
I will be in the lookout. I just need your address right now.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll give you my address. Just don't send marriage proposals to my physical address if you mind.
By the way, yes, I wanted to tell you the story. So
Oh, yeah.
yesterday, someone is calling the door, and it's like 2 kids. They're like 11, 12. And Heiko is opening them the door because I don't speak that much German. And the kid is like, are you a YouTuber? And he's like, eh? Are you a YouTuber? Why? Well, we were walking on the street and we saw this big light that's actually giving me light right now. And we thought that you were a YouTuber. And he's like, I'm not. She is. Oh, that's so cool. And they left.
Yeah.
So today I hear the bell and they come back. There's 3 of them this time.
You've got groupies. They don't even know who you are.
Yeah, exactly. So they started asking me like, hey, how many subscribers do you have? I said like, well, almost 19,000. Wow.
Yeah.
And I gave them stickers. They were so happy.
There you go.
They followed me. I'm like, okay, please don't come back.
Right. It's funny because I've had a few moments like that where like my oldest son, he had to turn this video in, and anyways, it was a mess because we couldn't figure out how to get the video onto his Chromebook because they're using Chromebooks here and they're terrible POSs and whatnot. So finally, and he was recording with all my gear, right? Like he's recording with my camera and my mic. And so finally I said, look, let's just push this onto my YouTube channel. We'll have it as unlisted. And you can share the YouTube link with your teacher. So, and this teacher he's fantastic, right? Just an incredible English teacher. I mean, my son came back, like he's 15, and he came back talking about the arc of a hero, right? In stories. And I was like, wow, this guy's good. For my son's, he's pretty brainiac, right? But like, for him to have never taken an interest in literature, like mechanics, and for him to come back and I was impressed. So, he looked at Cole's video, or my son's Cole's video, and he goes, oh wow, that's really great. And then he looks down and he sees the 7,000 subscribers that I have. He goes, why does your dad have 7,000 subscribers on YouTube? What does he do? and Cole was like, yeah, he's really big in the FPV drone community. He's like, wow, man, that's amazing. It's like, oh my God, it's crazy. The other day, speaking of people recognizing you, we went down to South Carolina for spring break, right? So we were there for a week, and at one point, I looked over, I had my drone bag with me, and there are kiteboarders in the water. And so we stop, I grabbed the drone bag, we start unpacking. I'm like, I'm going to fly these. I've always wanted to do it. It's like a bucket list item. But there's a 20 knot wind plus. So it's like the wind is 25, 26 miles an hour, probably at a minimum. And so it's blowing really good. These kites are like 9 meter, 10 meter kites. Like they're giant. And on top of it, it is over a body of water that basically has signs posted everywhere that says, if you get in the water, you will die.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's like this little, anyways, it was, but it was fantastic, right? So I start flying, and I'm not super sketched out about flying over the ocean because I've done it so much. I know a lot of folks, as soon as they go over water, they're just like, but I am so, at this point, like I have sent it a half mile away on free sky. Right?
Damn.
Like it was fun. Like that's
ballsy.
One time I was chasing dolphins, and I knew I was really far out when I had to reorient my body to get video back. Right. So anyways, so yeah, that was that moment when I started realizing that I'm losing video. How do I, okay, the patch just kicked in. I'm still on analog. So I'm a half mile out on analog with free sky, and I didn't even have telemetry, so I don't know. Anyways, it was great. So this time I'm flying, and all of a sudden this guy comes up, and he's like, oh man, he's like, how do you feel about flying over the water? And I didn't, he was a kiteboarder, and I didn't think anything of it. And and I was like, oh yeah, man. I was like, it's fine. I was like, once you get used to it, I'm more nervous about hitting a kite right now.
Yeah.
And those things are fast. Wow. So at some point I was like, we start talking. Turns out this guy flies FPV. And so I'm like, oh, I bet this guy knows who I am. He didn't. Oh. Had no freaking clue. And I was like, all right, buddy, let's get the ego check and let's just really embrace it right now. Yeah, it was just one of those funny moments where I enjoyed being in my head. So
dude, I mean, I'm still getting comments like, who is this chick?
Oh, okay. There you go. Why does she think so much of herself?
Yeah, right.
Right. I do get those periodically.
Yeah, so it happens. But at the same time, like when I was going to the DRL tryouts, I actually got lost in the hotel in Vegas. And I was just standing there with my backpack like, I'm going to die here. Exactly here in this spot. And all of a sudden someone's like, hey, are you Lexi? And I'm like, savior.
Yes. All right.
I like you already.
People know me. That was how long? That was what, a couple of years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
Wow, man. That's just crazy.
Yeah, but
So,
it was so. It's always so much fun when someone actually recognizes you, and then it's like, you will help me, right?
will you
Because
please?
mostly I'm just lost. But it's also cool when someone just recognizes you, and like my weirdest ones are like when people look at me down, like, "Oh, you are really small. I thought that you were joking." And I'm just
Yes.
there like, dude.
Because
Or yes,
like, I think we talked about this before, because you're really not that tall.
I'm 164 centimeters. I don't know how
Let's
much
go.
it is in
Hold on,
the.
I'll
Yeah,
Google that real
you
quick.
Google that.
64
I'm not big.
centimeters in feet. That's what, 5.3 feet. Let's see if I can get that in feet and inches. Yeah, that's not.
That's not
That's
much.
nope.
So especially when I'm in with Heiko, who's like 190 something.
Okay, you are no, you're not that short. You're like 5'4".
Yeah,
You're like
I'm kind of like
between.
okay-ish. But
Yeah,
with Heiko, I look like a hobbit.
oh yeah, because he's giant, right?
He's a giant, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And the second thing that really always gets me like, what the hell, is when I'm doing something around on the event and a person comes to me like, I thought you were just like posing for your videos. You are really like that?
Right? It's like, oh, I'm actually like this. Thank you. Yes. Yes. This is not a thing.
It's really like,
But I think that also gets back to why you've been able to build a community, because you are genuine, right? Like,
maybe. But at the same time, if you think about it, if you are yourself, you don't have to think about what you have to be doing, how you have to behave, and stuff like that in front of a camera. So the only thing that I noticed is that when I have a camera on me, in front of me, I'm saying a lot of "okay, guys." So, which is some I don't do it in real life at all.
oh, really?
At all. Like I don't say it every sentence, and I have to edit it out in so many of my videos because it pisses me off so much. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Like sometimes I'm even like catching myself like, okay, guys, so no, this is not how we start Lexi.
I have the habit of just starting any thought with so. Like in email, in real life, on here, it's pretty fantastic. So, well, I know. So I know that you've got a live stream in 30 minutes, and I would
No,
love.
in 1 hour. Don't
Oh,
worry.
1 hour. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
let's talk for another hour.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so actually, let's talk about that. The live
Okay.
streams.
Okay.
You've been doing beginner live streams, right?
Yes.
Speaking of caring.
Speaking of caring, yes, I set up a FPV beginner corner for the people who have really weird questions. And you can send me an email and say that this is for live stream if you don't want to ask it personally. Like I got an email of how do you know which side your props should spin? I'm
actually a
ashamed
good
of
one.
asking that. And I was just asking those questions, and I'm taking a lot of questions from also the audience. And I just think that it's a nice place for beginners to just hang out and ask questions or learn something like the batteries or how to check where your motors spin, which side, and stuff like this. So this is the first thing I came up with. And the second one was like, okay, so if I did an FPV beginner corner, let's also do FPV and chill on Fridays. So we can just talk about weird stuff, show each other the little Grogu from Star Wars. Actually, Grogu has a crown now. I don't know if you have seen it.
Oh, I did. Yeah, that was didn't you have that on a live stream at one point?
No, I just put the crown on him and he looks at me. He's so beautiful. I can take it
Very
if you
good.
wanna.
The child. Yeah, go ahead.
child. I'm
Get the
getting
child. The child. I feel like that should be the thumbnail. You need to send me a picture of Grogu with the crown on, so that we can put
Okay.
that in the thumbnail.
Okay, I'm totally doing that.
He's very big. Actually,
Yeah, he
looks
is.
like the size of a toddler.
Yeah, he is. Also, for the topic of girls, I was talking with Harley Quinn today.
Oh, how's she
Yes.
doing?
She's doing really good, but she said that she has posted a picture of finding a dress or something like this, and someone literally commented, "You're gaining some weight. Are you pregnant?" And I'm like, dude, whenever I say that I don't feel well, because I don't know, I ate something wrong, because I eat a lot, so I eat something wrong sometimes. Every time I'm saying, I'm sick, I'm something wrong, I get like 10 messages. Are you pregnant? No.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you ask that?
I learned very early that you just never ask that question.
Yeah, exactly. And also, when I did the pictures with Grogu, people were commenting like, oh, you're practicing before you get your own? And I'm like, eh?
Yeah.
It's like, why would you ask this? But now he has
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
He's very, I definitely dig it. He
You can buy
is.
him on Amazon. He's like
Okay.
$20.
We should have like a secret Grogu stash where like all the creators have their own Grogu somewhere and we can like periodically show it in the video. Is an Easter egg. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so the speaking of carrying the FPV beginner stuff,
Yes.
what have you seen as a result of that?
I actually think a lot of people started being kind of more supportive. I got less really mean comments lately. And people actually started to really want to go to this live stream and think that I am a person to go to with beginner stuff. Because sometimes actually sent me an email not so long ago that Bardwell's stuff is so advanced and he doesn't get it. And I just explain stuff like in Spartan words. Easy.
Do you think that has to do with not being a native English speaker?
Maybe.
Okay.
So I'm trying to really do as easy as possible stuff so everyone understands. Like I'm trying to imagine to myself, like, if I was my brother, how would I explain this? Because he's also still a beginner pilot.
Oh, is he flying now?
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, right.
When do we get to see Lexie's brother?
Unfortunately, COVID. So he's in Ireland.
Dang it.
You can actually see him in some of my videos, I think. When I was visiting Ireland, he should be there. In some of my videos, he was there.
I think what you're saying about Bardwell being so advanced is definitely a thing. Even me sometimes, so guilty confession. I have outsourced almost all technical things to my son. I am at a point where I just don't have time to sit down and figure out how to configure the latest whiz bang piece of beta flight and what should I do now. And I'm still flying with what is basically Stone Age configs, right? Like I just use stock PIDs. I flash it, I set the arm switch, I set turtle mode, and that's pretty much it. And so over the past few months, I've been like, hey, Logan, can you figure out how to do this, and this? And he's like, yeah, Dad. And he goes off into the corner for like 2 hours on YouTube, and he comes back. And he's like, all right, we got to do this, and he's like super technically minded. As a matter of fact, I am going to do a review on the Z-Tag, and I realized. So we went to test it, and I realized when I got out to the field that I had not done my homework. Like I knew what it was and I knew basically how it worked. So I was like, hey, Logan, why don't you explain this to me? And homeboy just lays it down. Right. And I was like, yes, I'm so happy to have him as an employee. I mean, a son. It's like awesome. But even Bardwell, like I'm a super smart guy in terms of like tech. And, there are definitely days when I'll like check out a Bardwell video and I'm like, this is really dense. So
maybe easy language is given it to me, but also I think people like the Velocitron Train Insane series in which I'm explaining how to do particular things with the tracks for you to download, and it's also been kicking out lately, but still I'm getting some comments like how can you teach people even though you don't know how to fly? And I'm like, dude,
come on.
It's like, come on. Are we serious? Are we still there?
Let me know whenever you get the I probably shouldn't even say it on air. Let me know when you get the so has the baby coming impacted your ability to learn FPV? Sorry. You should be like, no, actually it provides a really nice shelf for my controller.
Actually, A couple of years ago, I was flying with a girl who was actually pregnant, like really, really pregnant. Like
Wait,
it was huge.
pregnant women can fly? What do you even...
What a shocker,
what?
right?
Right.
So anyway, she was actually using her belly as a little shelf for her radio. It looked hilarious.
Some of us may not be pregnant and use our bellies as shelves.
Okay, yeah, valid point.
I do the same thing. It's like a little... I'm like a little Tyrannosaurus when I fly.
It looked so hilarious on her because she was a really small girl with this huge belly, and she was just like,
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. Can I use that as the teaser?
yeah, sure. Enjoy.
Straight up use that as the thank you. That's so good. Anyways, all right. I feel like I'm rambling. Is there any parting gifts? Any, like, where can people find you? What's your Patreon?
Yes.
How can they just send you boatloads of money?
Oh, you can PayPal me.
Okay.
Or buy me a coffee / Maionhigh. Yes, you can find me anywhere by Maionhigh.
Okay.
I'm totally responsive. You can also send me an email to lexie@maionhigh.com. You can visit my website on maionhigh.com.
I dig it. I will say, like, if you're looking for a really supportive, very good community, go check out Lexie's Discord. Like, you got to be a patron, but it's worth it. And
I'm
what
totally
level?
afraid to opening it.
What level of patron do you have to be to get into Discord?
Oh, it's every. So
Everybody.
It starts at €2 a month. So it's not that much. It's like basically buying me a coffee.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. Well, and for what it's worth, for folks that are not on the creator side, like the whole, oh man, people are paying you to make this content. Like, you're so arrogant and egotistical to think that you're worth that. It makes a big difference in your mentality. Yes, you're a queen.
FPV.
I know for me, the fact that I am, I get like $100 a month from Patreon, which is not, that's not life-changing for us, but that money feels real. And it feels like it is, I don't know. Like, there's a group of people that are so invested in me that they're willing to basically send me a couple bucks a month.
Yeah,
and
that's really amazing.
It really does make a difference in how you think about all of this. So if you like your creators, then go subscribe to their Patreon. You can start with Lexie's, because it is... start.
Here.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. We're over there.
Yeah.
A mirror. That's what it is.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I hate that. But okay. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Lexie. This was delightful and wonderful. I really appreciate you tolerating my rambling.
Don't worry. I love your rambling. I really enjoy talking to you. It's always so much fun.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It's always fun to talk to you as well. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Michael Rollins Show. You have been on with Lexie Janson, a.k.a. Maionhigh. She is not pregnant, and she already knows how to fly, okay?
Yes!
So let's leave those comments off YouTube. By the way, if you get more comments like that as a result of this, just let me know. Right?
I'll send you every single one of them.
There you go. Perfect. I'll be like, okay, folks, this is not okay. All right.
Just so no, not pregnant.
Not pregnant.
Nice.
Yes, I probably look far more pregnant than Lexie does. I'm just gonna let you know. So, all right. Well, thank you for coming on, Lexie. It was a joy.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. All right.
And
we'll see y'all later.
guys.
Bye. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming along. I really appreciate you being here. Before you go, if you liked it, then hit the like button. If you're not a viewer, then subscribe. I really do appreciate it, and it does mean a lot. And if you really, really like what I do here, then go ahead and subscribe to my Patreon. It makes a big difference. Lexie and I talked about it in the video, and honestly, having patrons and knowing that there are people that care enough about you and what you do to throw a little bit of their cash behind it means a lot, right? We're not doing this for money, but the fact that people feel it's good enough to pay for does mean a lot. And while you're at it, subscribe to Lexie's Patreon. She has a pretty fantastic one. You get access to her Discord, and it is a pretty fantastic group. So I hope that you enjoyed this one, and next time, who knows? Who knows who we'll see. Talk to you soon. Bye.